Welcome everyone. I'm going to rewind a little bit. My name is Mickey. The way that today's webinar is going to work, it's about an hour long. We're going to break it into 45 minutes-ish of me just doing an overview of ClubRunner. We're going to try to explore every module that we have time to explore. I do want to, I'll apologize only once. In past webinars, I apologize way too much. My first and only apologies, we're not going to get through everything. ClubRunner runs very deep. We're going to find that out. So there are going to be a lot of things I'll be skipping over. I'm going to just try to expose you to as many different sections of ClubRunner today. That's going to be the first portion. And then we're going to end with Q&A. This is just wide open for anybody. Anybody has any questions at all. I love questions. So if you could, if you have any questions, I'd love to discuss. We're going to jump right into it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with everyone. So let's get this going. All right. Oh, and by the way, just before I share my screen, there is a chat box. So if you have a question, if it's possible, please hold it till the end for a Q&A. You can, of course, put it in the chat box. That's totally fine too. But like I said, I really want to make sure I don't go too long. I'm watching the clock, that I try to stay within 40 minutes if it's possible, and I leave some time for all of you to ask questions. Okay, so let's begin. All right, so this is, now can everybody see the District 7930 homepage? Yes, perfect, I see some thumbs up. All right, so we're gonna begin at the very beginning, which is, it might even be Google, okay? So I'm gonna open a new tab and we're gonna go to Google. So this is, I would describe today's webinar as kind of sort of entry level, meaning, you know, if you've never used ClubRunner before, if you're new to it, or if you've used ClubRunner, but you just want to see what's in it, because you're going to see there's lots and lots of modules. And that's what today's webinar is about. Now, actually, what I'm going to pretend is I'm brand new to ClubRunner, and maybe I just joined the club and I'm new to any district matters. And what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to find my website. We have a lot of some customers. We have some customers, they don't know if they have a ClubRunner website or not, or how this works. So go to Google and type in District 7930. Okay, just go to your district site first, and there's a reason for that. Okay, so I'm going to go to your district's homepage, and you have a great little handy top menu item right here, Our Clubs. And I'm going to click on Our Clubs. So Our Clubs right here. And what this is, from your district homepage, you have a directory listing of every club in your district. For some of you, this will be like, this is so obvious. And for some, I guarantee there's a couple of you, maybe you didn't know that your district had a club directory, maybe. I'm going to talk about this club directory very briefly. It is kind of useful. The way that this works is that you land on this page, you'll get a listing alphabetically from A to Z, all the clubs. We do list, you know, the meeting times and all that. You can see all the club presidents right away. I'll just go over it very quickly. If there's an orange house, see, there's these little house icons, that represents a website. If it's orange or yellowish, that's a ClubRunner website. That means Amesbury, Andover, and Arlington have ClubRunner websites. If it's a gray house, that means Belle Isle, for example, has a gray house. They have a website. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click here. It's not a ClubRunner website, though. Oh, they have a Facebook page. Fantastic. So, you know, they have something that's non-ClubRunner. Let me just close this. Okay. So that's how this club directory works, is you get to see all the clubs at a glance. And if you're a member of Cambridge or a member of Chelsea or etc., you can just go to your homepage. So for example, I'll just pick on Amesbury because they're alphabetically first. If I click this little yellow house icon, I can go to the Amesbury homepage. So this is a ClubRunner website. We're going to just very briefly talk about what this is. This is the public website, meaning you don't need any logins. Nothing is private on this side of the website. There's actually two sides of the website. This is the first side, the public side. Anybody can see it. Google will index all this information. So this is the website right here. This is the little cookie warning. I'm just going to click got it to get rid of this little pop-up. And the way the ClubRunner websites are generally designed, you have your top menu at the, and then you have a search box, and then you have a member login, and then you have the rest of your content. And as I mentioned, this is all just public content. If you click on member login, we're going to go and visit this. The primary aim of today's webinar is to not really talk so much about the public side. I want you to know that there's a public side and that you can go to, like, for example, the contact us page or the events page. You can visit all of this stuff. That's fine. But what we're really going to talk about today is the internal portion, or the private member area. If I click on member login right here, and by the way, I'm going to click the back button. I did that a little fast. Every ClubRunner website, club or district, doesn't matter, has a member login button at the top right. So if you go to the top right of the page, you click member login, it's going to ask you for your username and for your password. And so now we're going to come to the case, I don't know my username or password, I forgot it, or I thought my browser remembered it, but it doesn't. So what you can do on every ClubRunner site, and your district site as well, you know what? I forgot my username, my login name, or my password. Doesn't matter which one. Let's just say I forgot my password. I'm going to click here. I'll make this just a touch bigger. Okay. I'm going to click here and forgot password. And what it's going to ask for is your last name and your email. Okay. So what you do is you fill in this form and you say, okay, I don't remember my login and password. Once again, some of you are probably rolling your eyes like I learned this stuff, years ago. And I hope, and maybe some of you may be, this is a little bit new. I didn't know I could recover my password. That's the goal of today, is to try to introduce some new concepts to everyone. This is how you're going to recover your login information, because you need to log into the member area in order to do all the private things, manage your member lists. We're going to go over what all that means. So if I put this in, the database will search and find your email, and it will email you your login information. Now we're going to take it even a step further past this. This is my email, but the database couldn't find it. It says, I don't know what test.com is, or Mickey at Gmail or whatever. I can't find your email. So what you can do is, every website has what's called, let me make this a touch bigger, it's called a website contact. So if you're trying this and you're like, this is pretty straightforward, I can do this, but then the system has no idea what your password is, or has no idea what your email is, or your email is blank inside ClubRunner, it's not defined, click this blue button and send an email to the website contact and say, I can't log in, and they'll be able to help you out. This is for the majority of members who, because we get login tickets every day, login emails. So I guarantee this will help a few people at least. So you can take all these steps to retrieve or to figure out your login information, okay? Because login is vital. Without that, nothing else matters, right? I'm going to close this tab, and actually I'm going to switch browsers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a different browser. This is a testing site. I'm going to click on this tab right here. So everything we're going to do today next in the member area, it has to be confidential. So we can't reveal any person's, email or phone number. So I'm using a testing site. This is our ClubRunner testing site. All the data, the names, everything you're going to see is going to be fake. So I've logged in. Okay, let's pretend that I put in my username and password. I logged in. When you log in, it takes you back to the home page. And if you notice in the top right, right here, it doesn't say member login anymore. It now says member area, and it has my name, that's my fake last name, and it has logout. So if you click member area, right, you can actually log in. So if I click member area, it'll take me to this screen. Okay, I'm going to go here. I'm just going to assure you that if I click member area, it'll take me to this screen. I'll just start it here. That's okay. I'm now logged in. And so what this is the, remember I said ClubRunner has two parts. This is the second part. The first part is a public homepage. If I go to the top right and I click on home, I'm back on the homepage. That's public, Google can see it all. This is literally about 10% of what ClubRunner does. ClubRunner's, I'm going to get a lot of metaphors going today. ClubRunner's an iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is your homepage. If you got a homepage, great. That's barely, there's 90% more here in the member area. So I'm going to click member area. We're now logged in. We land on what we call the administrative side or the member area. And then the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk a little bit about access levels. Okay, so what I did is I had this little notepad that I'm using so that you can see. And this notepad is actually for me, and I'm going to be very 100% honest. It's to help me to slow down my speaking. One of the, when we get lots of great feedback, and one of the big things is sometimes, and I'm not going to talk about anybody else, sometimes I tend to speak very quickly, and I try my hardest to slow down today, even though we have limited time. So what is access levels? I'm logged in, and I'm in the member area. Now, I'm a site administrator. I'm not really sure what that means. What does that mean? Versus a regular member, right? So when you log in, you and all members of your club are going to be assigned an access level. It starts with a standard member all the way up to a website admin, okay? And I'm not going to, now there's actual numbers like website level, access level 30 is a website admin. I'm not going to touch on that. Like I said, I just want you to know about some of this stuff today. We're not going to get into the nitty gritty, but if you're following along or you're watching this video and you're following along and you're saying, you know, I'm in the member area, but half of these items, they're grayed out for me. Well, what all that means is you have a lower access level. A standard member, that's I'll put it in brackets so you just know that we use numbers to denote it, right? Oops, level 30. A standard member level 70 will be limited by design. So if you're logged in your standard member level 70, you're going to have very low access. You're going to have like most of the commands are going to be grayed out for you. On the other side of the spectrum, if you're a website admin or level 30, basically nothing will be grayed out for you. So if you're following along and something is grayed out, that just means, I'm sorry about that. That just means your access level is not high enough. And you can get your access level upgraded because every website inherently has a website admin, usually a couple website admins, including the district website. I'm going to go back to my club site. Okay, so the way that the ClubRunner member area works, everything is broken down in the member area with these top blue tabs. I'll make this just a touch bigger. Okay, so you've got admin, my ClubRunner, communication. These are all the various sections of ClubRunner. Every section has subsections. Let me explain that. So I'm going to click on communication, nothing happened. I'm going to click on contacts. These sections do not load the web page. If I click on organization or reports, see the web page doesn't change. You have to click on the section, then you have to click on this gray subsection below it. This is what loads the page. If I were to click on communication, I have to now choose one of these three subsections: email services, traffic report, or manage blocked emails. By the way, some of these subsections might be grayed out for you because of access levels. So if I, for example, click on my ClubRunner, I have to click on my profile. I have to click this button in order to load my profile information. Okay, and that's how you navigate around. You have a section and a subsection. If you're up to speed up to here, if up to this point you're saying this is pretty easy, fantastic, because a lot of this is like 80% of ClubRunner is logging in and moving around. If you can do that, the rest is just learning, you know, what you want to learn, whether it be about bulletins or committees or what have you. Speaking of bulletins or committees or what have you, let's start exploring a bit of this. I'm going to go back to admin. And I'm going to click on admin. So admin, I click it twice. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to just talk briefly about the administrative, the admin page. What that is, it's just a listing of all the commands you have. And if you scroll down the page, you'll see it's pretty long because I'm logged in as a website admin. I have access to basically everything. So that's why this page is so big, is because admins have access to all kinds of stuff. If you're logged in as a regular member, I can actually do that. Because I'm an admin, I can actually simulate what a regular level 70 member looks like, if I click on members, you'll see this page much shorter because now I'm just a regular member and I have access to a lot less. So now I just wanted to show you the admin page. We're actually not going to use it very much. I'm going to stick with the top blue menu tabs. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I won't have time to go into detail with all the great commands. I am going to try to hit some highlights. And I just want to talk about what all these great commands are. This is what I mean by ClubRunner runs very deep. If you start poking around and say, okay, communication, well, membership has all these tabs, and so does organization, and so does website. So not only does ClubRunner have a lot of sections, it has a lot of subsections. We call them modules, right? So all these different modules or sections are stored within ClubRunner. That doesn't mean you have to learn every section. What that means is there's a lot going on in ClubRunner. So I'm going to go back to admin. I already clicked on admin. I'm going to skip over admin classic. I'm just going to click very quickly on club info and settings. And what I want to do today is I just want you to know that there's a club information section on your club site. We're not going to go over how to edit it. This usually stores your club meeting info. You know, it's got a Google map. You know, do you have a website? So all this stuff is stored in the club info section. I just want you to know that exists today. We're not going to try and manipulate or edit anything. Okay. And the next thing is, I'm going to talk about it briefly because it is important. Your club website has a privacy policy. You may or may not know about it. What is a privacy policy? So we take privacy, user privacy, extremely seriously. I'm going to mention this acronym. You may or may not know what it means. ClubRunner is bound by GDPR guidelines. These are guidelines set forth by EU. I think it was 2019 they instated it. Anyways, they instated these guidelines a few years ago. I'm not going to go deeper than that. I just want you to know that there's a privacy policy. This was, by the way, written, our boilerplate terminology is written by ClubRunner lawyers, by the way. Your club can review, and if you want to, you can change or update your privacy policies. Once again, I just want you to know this exists today. All right, so ClubRunner Mobile, I definitely want to talk about that very briefly. Hopefully, all of you will download the mobile app. Oh, my phone is invisible, but I'm going to wave my phone around. The ClubRunner mobile app, it's free for iPhone or Android. You just download it to your phone. You'll have your club and district directory both. If your club is a ClubRunner subscriber, your district already is. You'll have your club and your district directory in your pocket in your phone at all times. Please do download the app if you haven't tried it already. If I click on help guides, this actually pops open a new window to clubrunnersupport.com. I definitely want to talk about this. I actually wrote it out right here. So clubrunnersupport.com is our main help site. You can think of it as the Wikipedia of ClubRunner. Anything you can think of. We're gonna kind of skim and go over lots of things today. It's like skimming the surface of a stone on a river. So we're not going deep today. So we're going to talk about attendance, but only in the sense that your club can take attendance and where is it found. But if you want to watch a video, if you want to print a PDF, you come here to clubrunnersupport.com, you type in your search term and look for all the various things we have. We have several hundred articles and videos on this help site. Okay, I'm just going to close this off. Okay, so some of this other stuff I'm actually going to skip only because, like I said, I'm watching the clock. I'm going to click on My ClubRunner. That's the next tab. Every member in ClubRunner, regular member, it doesn't actually matter about their access level. Every person in ClubRunner has access to the My ClubRunner tab on a club website. All these commands, right? My committees, email message, documents, everybody, doesn't matter, even if they're level 70, right? The lowest access, everyone has access to all these commands. So for example, I clicked on my profile, right? My ClubRunner, my profile will fire up or load up my member profile. Member profile is very integral because it stores tons of information about you and about all the other members of your club. So I got my photo, I've got, all this stuff. Like I said, it's all fake, but, address info, my email, that's actually my first tab. There are all these different tabs in a member profile. I'm going to skip over lots of them, and I want to talk about this. When I click on my ClubRunner and my profile, it loads my member profile. I want to talk about the rightmost tab, privacy. Okay, so you as a user, and it doesn't matter who you are, DG all the way, just regular member, everyone has the right to have privacy levels that they choose. Here's how this works. First of all, you can choose what emails you get. We highly recommend get all the club and district emails and all that stuff. You can, if you really, really want to, see all these green checks, you can edit this and you can turn a green checks into this red X. It means don't give me this style of email. So you could turn off club emails and not get any club emails from your club. We definitely don't recommend that, but you have the right as a Rotarian to do that. Okay. So that's the communication preferences. And I definitely want to talk about this, the ClubRunner privacy settings. What is all this? You have the right to not show up on searches. That's really important. A lot of people don't know they can do this. A lot of people are attorneys or whatever, have jobs where they're very sensitive to their confidential information. You can turn off all of your member information. When a club member, when someone at the club or when someone at the district searches for you, you can be invisible. There is a big caveat to this. See this allow search, I can just turn it all off. So no one in the district can even find me. The big caveat or the big note to that, district admins and club website admins, doesn't apply to them. They have to find you. They have to be able to manage membership. So it's not a full-blown, no one could ever find me again. This is for regular membership. If you want to stay out of searches, or if you're like, I'm totally fine with my searches, but I don't want people to know my home address. So I'm going to uncheck allow home address. Great. You can turn it off. That's really important. And that's why I'm spending precious seconds on this, because I want people to know that, this is all part of the privacy settings. You can actually turn yourself off and hide yourself if you choose. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up. And what I did is I clicked on my ClubRunner, my profile, and then the privacy tab, and it got me to all these privacy settings. Let's go explore some other things. Once again, I'm going to skip over many things. I'm going to come back to email message center. That's a big one. Okay. But one thing you're going to find as you navigate around ClubRunner, we have duplication. We have redundancy. If you click on my ClubRunner and email message center, it's exactly the same as clicking as communication and email services, which we're going to get to next. But if I'm going to click on my ClubRunner again. Why do we have two different menu items go to the same page? Because some of these pages are very important, and that's why we allow duplication. Okay, so I'm going to get to Message Center. I just want to talk very briefly about directories. This is a big one. A lot of members, regular members, one of the big purposes is to come in, find all the stuff is fake, by the way. They come in and they want to find Mary's email or Joe's phone number. Or remember, I talked to this guy who was great at last week's meeting. He said his name was Fred. I'm just going to look him up and I'm going to contact him. So that's what clicking on My ClubRunner and directories does, is it lets you see what's in these directories. Okay, so you can export this and print this, or you can do whatever you like. But the directories is a popular item for a lot of our users, because they just want to know how to contact their fellow Rotarians. Okay, now I'm going to skip over a lot of things. I'm not going to apologize. Sorry, I apologized up front. So let's move on to communication and email services. So every member, doesn't matter what their access level, every member on a club site can send an email. Now, I want to talk about this very briefly because this is actually really important. Every member on a club website can send an email. Very few members on a district site are allowed to send an email. Your club and your district login are exactly the same. If your login name is Mickey1 or whatever it is, then it's the same. It's Mickey1 on club, and it's the same login and password on the district. So what a lot of users, they log into the district site, and pretty much everything is grayed out for them. And they say, I need to upgrade my access level. What's going on here? I can't do anything. Your club and your district login are the same. Be wary of that. If you accidentally log into the district site, it also, now some people, it'll say district, 7930, but they miss it sometimes because these blue menu bars are on a club and a district site. We're thinking of changing the color. of a district site, to be honest, because sometimes it confuses people. So here on this club site, it doesn't matter about the access level. I'm just a regular member. I can still send an email. So if I click on communication and email services, I can just send an email, and I can send it to my entire club or just to 3 people or what have you. I'm not going to send one because, once again, okay. I'm going to try and pick up. I'm not going to try to talk faster, but I'm going to try to pick up the pace so we can see more of these commands. I want to talk about manage blocked emails. When you send an email in Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, doesn't matter. You send it to, Bob at gmall.com, gmall.com. You spelled it wrong. It'll just bounce back to you. It says there's no gmall.com. And, you meant to say Gmail, but you spelled it Gmall. It's a bounce back. It just lands in your inbox. ClubRunner doesn't have an inbox. When you send an email out of ClubRunner, you send the email out of ClubRunner. The reason you send it out of ClubRunner is so you can contact your club or district execs, but also because we keep stats of everything. When you send an email to 20 people, that's stats for all those 20 people. Did those 20 people at least receive the email? But it's not an inbox. So if 19 or all of those 20 people, they reply back to you, it goes back into the email that you have in your member profile. I'm going to jump around. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to click on My ClubRunner. I'm going to click on My Profile. I have what's called a primary email. Every member has a primary email, and it's right here. So if I send an email to 30 people in ClubRunner, and any of them hit reply, it doesn't come back to ClubRunner. It comes back to me. Okay. So that's important to note. And that's why if I click on, I'm going to do this again, communication and manage blocked emails. This is where the bounce backs get stored. If you're using Gmail, Yahoo, whatever, it just goes, it bounces back to your inbox. In ClubRunner, it bounces back to manage blocked emails, this section. I want to spend just a second on this. Blocked emails, that doesn't mean ClubRunner blocked the email. That means ClubRunner tried to send an email to all these people, and those recipient email servers, the people with Gmail, Hotmail, AOL emails, AOL or someone said, I think this ClubRunner email is fishy. I'm going to report it as spam, and it's going to bounce back. And what happens is it lands on this page, and it's up to you, the website admins or club executives, to kind of look at this and say, some people got blocked. If people land on this blocked emails page, our system stops sending them email altogether. So for example, John Dean, right? This is obviously a fake email, but let's say it was real. If you're no longer able to select John Dean as an email recipient when you send an email. It's not because John opted out. It's because John's email service, example.com, said ClubRunner was spam at some point in, when an email was sent. I'm not going to go much deeper. Once again, I want you to know that this page exists and what it's for. I'm going to keep going because I'm looking at the clock and I am kind of making sure I get through as much as I can today. So I'm going to click on attendance and click on dashboard. And the only thing I want to talk about here is this is club level attendance. There is district level attendance, meaning you can, if your club is not a ClubRunner subscriber, you can still do simple attendance using the district site. Here's the difference between club and district level attendance. I clicked on attendance and dashboard because I'm on a club site. Club level attendance lets you do attendance for all your members. It's not just a number, like let's say you have 10 members and 8 of them showed up. You have 80% attendance. Okay, well, in club level, you can keep track of Mary, John, Frank, Sue, whoever showed up to the meeting. District level is just a percentage. When you do your attendance at a district site, you're just inputting a number. What was the attendance percentage last week? Well, it was 80%. Okay, that's it. You can't do member level attendance. You do that on a club level website. That's all I want to say. We're going to move on to the next thing. And the next thing is bulletin. So I'm going to click here on bulletin and then click on manage bulletins. And by the way, the term bulletin and newsletter get used interchangeably. So if you're familiar with the term newsletter, great. That term kind of gets tossed. Both those terms get tossed around. A bulletin, let me make this a bit bigger. Okay. You send an email to anybody, and it's usually text, "Hi, John, don't forget, I don't know, don't forget your umbrella at the next meeting," whatever. That's just plain text. It doesn't look very fancy, but it's effective because it's quick and short. A bulletin is a visually rich email. Your email to John reminding him to bring his umbrella or whatever is like a sentence, and it doesn't look fancy. Here's what a bulletin email looks like. So your little plain text one sentence email looks a certain way. This is what a bulletin looks like. It's a visually rich email. This lands in people's inboxes. When you send a bulletin, you're not sending one or two sentences. You're sending images, text, tables, all kinds of stuff. You can even send database information. I hope that piqued your curiosity, because you're like, what's all this stuff? This is actual raw database information. If you've never seen this, fantastic. Can I talk about it today? Not at all, because I'm already behind, but I just want you to know that that's what a bulletin is. It's a much more sophisticated email than a standard regular plain text email. Okay, let's move to contacts. So I'm going to click on contacts, and I'm going to click on manage contacts. What is a contact? You have your membership, right? Let's say you have 30 members or 50 or 100 members in your club. Contacts is everybody else. It's your non-members. It's the last speaker you had. It's the owner of a company who's very they're helping you a lot with. They may not be a Rotarian, but they're helping you, like maybe with fundraising. So all these people are contacts, and this is where you store them. So just as an example, I met Mary, and she's, I don't know, the CEO of a company, and she would just make a fantastic speaker. She's on the fence. She doesn't know she has the time. I'm going to input her as a contact so that our club can talk to Mary and maybe coax her into becoming a speaker one day. So that's what contacts is. Okay. Once again, glossing over all this stuff, I want to talk about membership. Okay. I'm going to click on membership, this tab, and then I'm going to click on members list. Okay. So this is your active member list. What this does is this is everybody, all your active and all your honorary and all your other types of a general membership. Corporate is a sort of new term. I think a lot of people or a lot of clubs have been using the corporate member type for a while, but basically this is how you store all the information for all of your essentially dues paying and in case of honoring non-dues paying members. So you can this club secretaries, this is usually an important page for them. So you can manage all your membership, you can add members, you can terminate members, you can transfer members. If they're coming from a different club, they've been a Rotarian before, you can transfer them. So there's all kinds of things you can do. You can manage your inactive member list. If I click on this, I'm going to click this very quickly. All your terminated members, let's say Bobby, right? Bobby, he left the club 2 years ago, but then he moved back to the city. And now he's like, hey, I missed you guys. I'm going to join your club again. So you can reactivate Bobby. He used to be an inactive member. Now I'm going to put him to an active member. So that's taken on, there it is. So this is what you do in the member list. It's your membership management. Okay. Let's just see. I'm going to skip most of this. Actually, I'm going to talk about one thing here. And I know that, there's all these menu commands that I'm glossing over. I'm going to click on this one, download member data. Okay. And because I want to make sure we have time and I don't want to. Okay. So download member data, what that is, it's actually an important way to generate information in ClubRunner. ClubRunner is a giant database. Everything is a data point. Someone's name, date of birth, their spouse's anniversary, everything is a data point, meaning you can extract a ton of information. You just have to know how and where to look. So if I click on membership and then download member data, it's the same. Remember redundancy, right? In our menus, this pops up again. If I click on reports and download member data versus membership and download member data, it's the same thing. It just links to the same page. We have it twice because download member data, especially for a lot of club presidents, It's a super useful feature. What download member data lets you do, remember I said everything's a data point? Here's, I think it's about 30 data points. Someone's nickname, someone's wedding anniversary, someone's Rotary number. You can extract an Excel file or export an Excel file with, for example, let me just, I'll unselect everything. I want to know the person's member type, their first and last name, and I need a report of all my member numbers. I just did it right there. I did it really fast, but I did it right there. I scroll down to the bottom, I click on generate, and it takes about a second or two to generate the file, and I scroll down and I can download an Excel file. First, last name, member ID, it's all there. I'm going to click cancel just because I don't want to spend too much time on this. I just want you to know you can extract a ton of information because it's already there. It's a giant database and it's constantly updating. So please do explore download member data. It's actually one of our most popular and important reports. Okay, so I'm going to move on to organization. And I just want to talk about committees and, okay, I'll actually here, I'm sorry. I do want to talk about execs and directors. Okay, so I'll do this first. So I'm going to click on organization and then I'm going to click on executives and directors. Your club has president, secretary, treasurer, sergeant at arms, et cetera, et cetera. You are not just sharing this information like, hey, my club president, his name is Bob. You're not just sharing that with the club. You want to make sure to share it with the district and with Rotary International. You want at least the, I put them in air quotes, the top executives, you want that to be public information most of the time. So when you come here to organization and then executives and directors, and you define your club directors, right? Who is the president, who is the secretary, so on. A lot of the times, if your club has what's called RI integration enabled, we're hopefully going to get there, you are syncing this information. In this case, my club president is Spider-Man, Peter Parker, so I'm sending that automatically to the district and automatically to Rotary International. All I have to do is define it once at the club. I have to put that in, who's the member, maybe Charles is my new president or whoever it is, right? And then it gets sent to district and RI. The reason I want to spend precious seconds on this club executives and directors, please fill in your club executives and directors. You are doing a service, not just to your club, to the district and to RI. I'll give you an example. Some clubs, this year's fine. We're already 2022-23 years already underway. Next year, bare minimum for all clubs. If you're watching this video and you haven't done it, pause the video, do it now. Go define bare minimum your president for the next year, for 23-24. Put him or her in. Because, like I said, next year's going to come around, people are going to forget, they're just going to think somebody did it, and then all kinds of people will not, this list will be blank, and then people will be scrambling to try and figure that out. So I want to spend those extra seconds on the executive and directors list. Please put them in. It is important. You are not an island. You're sharing this information with other Rotarians. So please do input this. I want to talk very briefly about committees. So that's the next one right here. Okay. So you can store your committees, list them all. You can have members in the committees. You can do all kinds of things here. I'm going to stop it there because I'm looking at the clock and I can see just how far behind I went a little today. But it's here, whether you use it or not. The moral of the story today, whether you use it or not, these sections are all here waiting for you in ClubRunner. You may already know completely about the email and all that, but it's all here for you to use. So you might as well use it. So okay, I want to talk about organization and documents very quickly. Documents in a club. This is a club level documents. It's like your club's private Dropbox. Your club can store, I'm going to click here, this button, collapse all. Your club can store all kinds of files, put them in folders, my quarterly reports, financials, what have you. And you can choose to make this document right here, right? This app video is public. This is private. And I can say it's private because see this tiny little padlock, it's a little hard to see. What private means is it requires a login. You can take, I'm going to click here on get link. I'm going to copy this link, right? This is the link to this file, right? This big long thing. And I'm just going to copy the whole thing and I'm going to paste it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it in a different web browser where I'm not logged in. So I'm actually going to jump to a different browser. This is what a private document, the power of it is. I'm going to open a new tab. Okay. I'm going to paste in the link to my document. I'm going to hit enter. And the first thing is going to be like, nope, give me the login. So that's the really nice feature of private documents. You choose, not every document has to be private, but if you have confidential information, put it in private documents. I'm going to go back to my standard browser, make it private, make it requires logging. It's really useful. You can even email this link, put it on your homepage if you want, but only people with logins can view that file. So like I said, you may already know about this. If you don't, use it. It's already there. Okay, so I'm going to click on our integration and I'm going to click on our integration settings. Actually, there's not much I can talk about with on this particular account because we actually don't have it hooked up. But our integration is the process of connecting member and executive information between club, district, and Rotary International. Your club and district, right? Because the district is a ClubRunner subscriber and maybe your club has a ClubRunner website. You don't actually need our integration for club and district in that case, because the club is a ClubRunner subscriber, the district is a ClubRunner subscriber. They just talk to each other. It's actually the same database. They're actually not talking. It's the same shared database. So if you update your phone number on a club site, it automatically gets sent to the district. Actually, it doesn't get sent. It's the same database. RI database integration, there's a third step in this process. If it's turned on, here it's not turned on because this is a testing account. But if it's turned on, the third level is I'm going to change my phone number, update my home address, change whatever. It automatically gets sent to Rotary International as well. So that's what our integration is. You may have heard of it, maybe not, but that's how it works. Okay, so I've got just a minute or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk very briefly about some of the last little things here. If I go to website and then designer home, this is where I can design my web page, my web pages. I can edit my home page. I can create secondary pages. I can do all kinds of things here. So this is how I design my website. And I do, now I'm going to apologize. Sorry, I promise you I'd only do it once, but I'm going to apologize again. We're going to race through a couple of things. Okay. So when you click on website, this pertains to all the commands of designing and keeping your homepage and website up to date. If you click on reports, there are several pre-built ClubRunner reports. The keyword is pre-built. You don't need to put in all this information. The information is already there. I'll give you an example, a very quick one. If you click on gender distribution, the club knows who's female, who's male, who chose. We have some new gender options, by the way, for non-binary, etc. But we have some new gender associations. But the point is, the club database knows all this because when you input a member, you put in male, female, or the other identifiers that we have now. So there's nothing to build here. It's pre-built. That's the point of all these reports, is that they're built for you. You just download them or look at them or export them and use them how you will. So please do check out the reports tab. I showed it to one club president one year at Pets. She really got excited, and I'm not kidding. I've never seen anyone get excited about reports in my life ever, but she was really excited about the report section. So there you go. Maybe hopefully you're excited. If you click on the events tab, this pertains to how your club can manage and handle online events. So you'll be creating an event, you'll be putting it on your website. And if you choose, you don't have to, but if you choose, you can have registration. There's another level to this. It's a paid add-on. I want to give that as a warning. In other words, it's not out of the box, but one paid add-on option all club websites have is a credit card payment option. you can charge, let's say your club event is $50, $100, whatever. You can actually charge that and people can pay with credit card directly on your club site. So that is something that you can do with events. Okay, volunteers is the next tab. This pertains to your volunteer sign-up lists. You have events, that's great, but you're going to need help. And that's the whole point of Rotary, is that it's association of volunteers. You can manage your volunteers, not with a clipboard, not with an Excel file locked on somebody's computer, but online and shared. So you can say, hey, our next barbecue, for example, we're going to need grill people, we're going to need people, drivers, you know, all that stuff. And people can do all this online over email. You email them invitations, not only to the event, you can also email the invitation to the sign-up list and say, hey, anybody free, you know, Tuesday at 7 p.m. to go to the grocery store, blah, blah, blah. So that's what the volunteer list is for. It's associated with events, but it's a way for you to collect volunteer information online. Okay, these last two, and I'm sorry, I know I'm going over time a little bit, I apologize. Oh, so I did it again, I did it a third time. Okay, donations and donation settings. Your club, if, this is the if your club has a credit card payment option installed, like I said, that's a paid add-on. You don't get it for free in ClubRunner because we can't offer free credit card payments. If your club has the paid add-on for credit cards, you automatically get donations. Your club website can accept donations online. $1 or $100 doesn't matter. It's already there and it's already set up if your club has enabled credit card payments. Okay, that's the donations. Membership success, definitely want to talk about that. It's a newer module. It's been released to all clubs, actually only for maybe 1 or 2 months. I hope that you maybe haven't heard of this, because this might be one of the few things maybe some people haven't heard about. Membership success is an online prospective member management tool. Let's take a look. And like I said, I know I'm blowing my time. I apologize. This one is important. I just want to show you. What you can do is you can link to an online membership inquiry form. Let's say Bob or Mary or Sue or somebody is brand new to Rotary and they're like, I've heard about this Rotary thing, but you know, I'm an engineer, I'm a teacher, I'm a whatever I am. They can fill out an online club application, send it to you. I don't mean you personally, I mean you, the club. The club can evaluate this member throughout the stages. Bob is a teacher, right? And oh, it's great. And he's got some free time. He's got some past volunteer experience. He would be a perfect Rotarian. You know, you can do that collaboratively with all your club members using the membership success tool. I'm going to close this tab because there we go. Sorry, because I'm running out of time, but I just want, once again, I want you to know this exists. This is a larger module that less people know about because we've just been releasing it out into the wild for maybe 2 or 3 months. Please do use it. It's a great recruitment tool. Part of Rotary is about engagement and getting new members. That's exactly what the membership success tool is meant to do. Membership success, and then I clicked on overview. Okay, and then the help section, if I click on help, it brings me to all the different help sections, videos, webinars, and what have you. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I did go over time a little. I apologize about that. Let's make sure we get to some Q&A. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing. And okay, so let's see, usually the best way, Andy or Alexander, would you like to be the moderators or something, or would someone like to raise their hand and unmute? Or I know it's a little.
I think if we ask people to raise their hands and then we can call upon them, that would be great. But before we go there, thank you for this wonderful overview. It was really, really well done, and a lot of information packed into a small time. So I'm glad we're recording this and putting it up on the website and YouTube so people can come back and rewind. Okay, anybody with questions, please raise your hand, either virtually or in real.
Pooja, can you unmute your microphone for me, please, Pooja? Are you perfect? Do you have a question, Pooja? Please go ahead.
No, right now I'm not, but I will have some questions, and I do also, but at that time, at this time, I don't want to take up people's time if somebody has some important questions.
No problem. Before Susanna is next. Before we get to Susanna, I'm going to share my screen because there is one thing I forgot to do, which is this. Please, like I said, I know some people have to run, so I'm going to do this now because I want to repeat this when the webinar officially ends. Please send us an email, support@clubrunner.ca. Please call us, 877-469-2582. 2582. And it's option 2 for support. Like I said, I mean to type this out because it slows me down. There's so much stuff we covered today. It's kind of, you might still be digesting. You might not have a question until next week. So, or whenever, next month, tomorrow, whatever, please email us, please call us. We love hearing from our customers. It's so much better than being frustrated, right? Like if you're stuck on anything, if you're stuck on square one, I have no idea how to log in. Call us, email us. We'd love to help you out. There. Okay, let me just stop sharing. Okay, and then I'm sorry, I lost. It was Susanna, I think, right? Where did that hand go?
Yep, I'm here. Thank you.
Great. Okay.
I lowered my hand, so
No problem.
so I'm a new member, and I was just wondering, the membership success portion where you just showed us, is that meant for people to fill out themselves, or do we as Rotarians fill it out for the prospective members? Like, do we fill it in on their behalf, or are they supposed to do it themselves?
Great question. Both. The answer is yes to both. So there's 2 forms. And now we can kind of explore all those things I just raced through. So membership success, there's a form section right here. And there's 2 forms. There's refer a member. Let me just pop that open. This is for Rotarians. I met this fantastic person. Her name is Eileen, and Eileen should become a member of our club. So that's what refer a member. That's what this form is for. It's for me, the Club Rotarian, saying, I'm just going to give you, Eileen gave me permission. Sorry, it's taking so long. Let me try it again. And then that Rotarian can fill out that form for the on behalf of the prospect. And then there's the membership inquiry, which we just looked at, and which I really hope loads. Sorry, I hope my internet's not going. Oh, I hope it's not. Oh, sorry about that. I'm always a little sketchy sometimes with my home internet. But so in other words, both. To keep it short, a Rotarian can fill out a prospect form on behalf of the prospect, or the prospect can fill out the forms for themselves. And thank you for that great question. All right. So
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Okay.
I
So
think Kurt was next.
yes,
yeah, I kind of back to that membership form. I'd like to put a button on our website. Is that sort of how this is imagined? You know, that in our Club Runner thing, it says click here if you want to be a member, and it goes to that form. Can you show that process?
That's another great question. The way that this works is yes, when you have your homepage, you can have a join button right here, right? So and in fact, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll do this very quickly because, like I said, I know there's other questions, but here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pop open this membership inquiry. This form is for a prospective member to do themselves. It's not me, a club member, doing it on their behalf. So I'm going to click here on this membership. I'm going to grab this URL, and then I'm going to do this. I hope not too fast. I'm sorry if I'm racing through, but I'm going to go to website homepage designer. Okay. Right now, if I go to my homepage is this 4th tab right here. Okay. Oh, here, let me just open that. All right. So right now I want to put join or prospective members or whatever. I want to put that button in the top. So I'm going to go back to my 2nd tab. Here's my homepage designer. I'm just going to edit the navigation. Okay. And I like doing collapse all because I don't need to see everything open all the time. So I'm going to collapse all. Sorry, like I said, I'm racing through this a little bit. I'm just going to put join our club exclamation. and then it's a custom URL because remember I copied this URL right from the third tab. Just gonna paste it in here. All right. And I'm going to make it a secondary or primary button. I want people to see this. I want this to be prominent. You don't have to. You can make it a regular link, means just a plain white link or whatever color. Primary or secondary kind of stands out a bit more. I want this to stand out. I'm going to make it a primary button. And if I click save and final step 2, I have to click publish or it won't go live. Okay. So I just did that. And I'm sorry, I did that in like 10 seconds. I know that was really quick. I'm gonna go back to my home page and it's not there. I'm gonna hit refresh, cross my fingers. There we go. My internet's holding up. What I just did in the last 10 seconds, and I'm glad it's recorded. You can kind of slow it down, pause it as we go. I now have a membership form directly on my site. So a prospective member can fill this out. We do our very, very best at the bottom to prevent spam bots from filling it out. You will get some spam with these things. We've been testing it. It's hopefully negligible. It's not too many, whatever, hi, my name's Prince of Nigeria or something like that, but you might get that. But a regular person off the street who wants to join your club now has a way to fill out their information, give it to your club committee right online. And you can just do it that way. And sorry to race through that, but did that answer the question?
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. I'm going to keep my screen share. Can I ask Alexander?
Yep, I'm looking at anybody else with a raised hand. I don't see. Oh, there we go. Susanna Brown, go ahead.
Hi there. I have a question going back to the first thing you covered, which was for members who forget their login credentials. I don't quite understand. I've gone to my club website, which is Rotary Club of Boston, and I put in a member's last name. And then you said to put in test@test.com.
No, that was my fault. Sorry, I was just doing pretend. Let's go back to here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this testing site, or actually, let's go to a live site, right? You said Boston, Rotary Club of
Boston.
Boston number 7. That's you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm actually. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Let me just go back here. So Boston number, I want that house button to open up your homepage. I'm not going to ask for anybody's first or last name. So when you come here, you click on member login, right? And I'm going to go back just very quickly. Once again, just to remind everybody, it's always here. You never have to look for member login in like the middle or top. It's always at the top right, always. So look in the top right, click on member login. If you click forgot username, the last name actually isn't required. I can actually leave it empty. So I'm not going to put in a last name. I'm going to put in a valid email address. This is not real, but like a real email address, the user's email address. Here's how the algorithm, or here's how the searching works. You type in the member's email. Only 2 things are possible. The email matches what's in the database. Fantastic. We'll send login information to mickey@gmail.com, or I'm just going to put in some gobbledygook. The email does not match, right? Don't put this in. This is just fake. And the system says, what the heck is that? I have no idea. Well, this is a junky email, but let's say mickey@gmail.com is not. Actually, I don't think it's in there. So let's cross my fingers. Hopefully there's no one with good. So this is a valid email. It's just not in the database. And that's what this little, I know it's a little hard to read. I'll make it a little bit bigger. That's what this prompt is saying. I'm sorry, we couldn't find your email. So that's when you contact your website contact. You click on this and you can contact, oh, it's you, okay? And people will contact you. And what you can do, actually, let's take it a step further, okay? So let's say Fred or Mary or Sue, they don't have an email. Now I'm going to switch browsers. Sorry for hopping around. I'm going to go to this browser right here, and I'm going to go right here. This is the member area, and I'm going to click on membership, and then I'm going to click on members list, because a lot of this stuff happens to the members list. If someone is missing an email, they will not have an icon here. Janice and Lee have no emails. See, Sue does, and Eddie and all these other people. Let's go down the list. Chuck Woods. So these people are missing email addresses. In other words, they have a valid email, it's just not in the system. So for example, if Janice ever tries to do this, our system will be like, I can't find you. You're not in here. So what you would do if you're a website administrator, for example, let's say Janice is like, I need my my profile. I'm sorry, my login info, and the system says it can't find me. Click on Janice's name right here, and you can see she has no email. So I'm going to click on her name and now edit Janice's profile. Remember, website admins only. If you're a regular member, you can't do any of this stuff. But if you're a website admin, you come edit Janice's profile, come down to personal, see her email is blank. Let's click edit. Okay. And let's put in her email. And her email is Janice at, I don't know, test.com, something like that, right? Outlook, Yahoo, you get the idea, right? So you put in something. I don't actually want to put in a real email. Okay. And so you put in whatever her valid, this is not a valid one, put in a valid email address, scroll up, click save. You do at least two things. You're actually doing more. Here's the first thing you're doing is you're now defining Janice's primary email. It's going to be very important. A lot of ClubRunner stuff is based off email. So that's one. Second thing, remember our integration? You also just synced her email address with Rotary International. So believe it or not, you just did two things by clicking save once. Okay, now that you've done this, there's actually two ways to go about this. Okay, now that Janice has an email, right? This is janice@test.com. Let's actually do this. Let's do this for real. So what I'm going to do is, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. Actually, let's just go to the home page. Okay. Now that you've got her email in here, right? I'm going to go to a different browser where I'm not logged in. So see, I'm logged in here. I'm going to switch to a different browser. And I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to go here. I'm in a different web browser. That's why I'm not logged in. I'm going to click on member login. And I forgot my password, or Janice did. But I put in Janice's email address. Okay. I'm going to paste it in. I think it was Janice@test.com. All right. And so here's what happens is 10 minutes before, even 2 minutes before, Janice did not have this email in the system. Now she does. Here's two things you can do. You can say to Janice, hey, Janice, go try again. Or you can help her out even more and just do it for her and say, Janice, I put in your email and I sent you a login retrieval email. Check your inbox. So that's how this works, because this was not in the system 2 minutes ago. The website admin, put it in. And I can even take it a step further by helping Janice and just say, okay, let me just paste it in for you. The reason to send these emails, they're anonymous. So I have no idea what Janice's password is. I never do, but Janice will, because she'll get it emailed to her. And this green box, it means good. It's already been sent to Janice. She can check it. Did that make sense? Sorry, I did that.
Well, so let's say somebody joins and they haven't been very active, and then they come back and they don't remember anything, and they say, well, I'm not getting any notifications. And so I could go into the ClubRunner and on the telephone talk with them and say, give me your email, and then just fill out that form and submit it, and it will go to them.
Yes.
And then they.
That's actually what we do. That you're unpaid ClubRunner support. So that's fantastic. Yeah, you actually can talk to them on the phone, say, let's do this again. And I'm going to go back to my main browser. And I just want to do this because, like I said, this is important stuff. I want to do this, try not to do it too quickly. So I'll slow it down again. I'm on the phone with Janice, my colleague Janice. She's a new member of the club, can't log in, having a really tough time. She called me, right? It's evening time or whenever it is. I'm gonna say, hey Janice, what's your email again? Okay, give that to me. So I'm gonna click on my ClubRunner, and I'm gonna click on membership. Sorry, got my wires crossed. I'm gonna click on membership and members list, and I'm talking to Janice on the phone this whole time. Maybe I got her on speakerphone. I'm gonna look her up. There she is. So I'm gonna click on Janice's profile. Remember, I being a website admin, regular members off limits too. And then I already put in Janice's email. Because I'm a website admin, I have access to all kinds of stuff that a regular member does not.
Right.
For example, I've already put in her email because Janice told me over the phone, JANICE@test.com. And then I'm going to click here on her settings tab. We skimmed over all these tabs. The settings tab is the second last one. I have access to her username. I can't see her password. Actually, no one's allowed to see anybody's password, but I can reset her password. And Janice is like, hey, my username, is it my email address? And no, Janice, it's janice.bobert.9723. And she's like, oh, that's why it's not working. Hey, Janice, do you know your email? Oh, I have no idea. That's okay. You can reset Janice's password. Give Janice a new password. By the way, I'm still on the phone with her. You can do all this stuff over the phone and say, you know, here's my new password, and, you know, give her whatever. Oh, so
Go back one click. How did you get into entering the password?
Yeah, let me cancel. So here, don't see these. So I edited Janice's profile.
Yeah.
I clicked her settings tab. It's right beside privacy settings right here. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to tell Janice over the phone. This is her login name, username. And then there's a blue button right here. I'll make this a bit bigger. Reset password. So if I click on reset password, this pops up. And it just lets me type in anything I want for Janice.
Oh, I see.
So you can do all this over the phone. Here's what I would suggest. I'm going to take it once again a step further. Tell them, don't call me because I'm busy. Call ClubRunner support. We would absolutely love to walk people. We do this, by the way, daily. So we would love to help people. We log in. I would say we average about 2 to 5 members a day. All we do is just log them in, and that's, you know, that's a fact. So yeah, if they wouldn't mind calling us or emailing us, we'll do all this for them. We'll walk them through all. We have to verify their identity first. We do that step first, but then we'll walk them through all this. So Susanna, if you forgot any of this, the only thing you need to remember is this number and say, hey, please talk to support, you know, because one of the things we find when presidents or whoever become ClubRunner support, you're going to get really busy. You're going to have a lot of calls, a lot of emails. My app doesn't work, and they're going to ask you a million random questions. This is, by the way, from experience. So please tell them to contact us, because we're used to the random questions. Actually, it's our job, and we actually love answering these random questions. So any other questions at all, Susan?
Well, I know when I call, which I do frequently, I often have to leave a message and then somebody calls me back, but it's not, I mean, you guys are very busy. So that's good.
We're so busy that we just doubled our support team. So we actually have more people now. I'm hoping that in the future, they're still being trained. So we're getting them all in the phone queues. In the future, hopefully it won't go to voicemail, because and by the way, doubling is just, that sounds like a lot. We're a pretty small team. I'm going to say about 6-7 people, maybe a little bit more now. So it's still not a huge team, but we wanted to make sure we have, you know, we don't want anything to go to voicemail. So we got more people coming in now. But yeah, if it does go to voicemail, great. Please leave your name and your phone number. We'll call you back. Sometimes people, they hang up, and every once in a while, their phone number doesn't show up on caller ID. And then we have no way to contact them. So if your call goes to voicemail, please leave a very quick message. We'll get back to you. That's a guarantee. We need your name and number most of the time. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Any other questions about anything at all? And it doesn't have to be anything we talked about today. Anything else?
I don't see another hand raised, so I'm going to actually throw you a quick question.
Yes.
The new member success module for clubs is of course wonderful. We have a join button on our district website, and that currently goes to a Google form because there is no member success module for districts. Is there a plan to add that? Because it would be wonderful if we could, our district membership committee could then simply forward those links to the respective clubs.
It's in the works. It's not there yet. I'm going to take your feedback, because anytime anyone says anything, we write it down. So make sure that we have, actually, I'm going to do it right now. So here, I'll just start a new little thing here. So short answer, no, we don't have a district level membership success module. But I'll make sure that your feedback gets recorded today. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to take a second. District level membership success. Okay. Sorry to mumble. I just want to make sure I spell your name right now. Okay. So no, but it is in the works.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, but it's a great feedback.
Pooja has her hand up. So there's one more question.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Sorry about, it's already late, but I'll be quick. We have a member who wants to come back to the club that we can reactivate his membership. The problem is we did not have the club runner before at the club level, but now we do. And if we reactivate his membership, he's not shown into the current database for the club, but I believe he should be into the RI database. So can we activate, because he had been PHS member and he had the Ruby Stone and whatever it is. But that information is not at the club level. Can we reactivate him and get all the information retrieved now?
Yes. So I want to qualify the yes, because I don't just want to blurt out yes. So if the person was a Rotarian before and your club had a record of him or her at some point, if it's not saved in ClubRunner, and please do, let me go to my club website again. I'm going to load up my website. Please do go to, I'm going to click on membership, and then I'm going to click on members list. Okay. And it says, hey, I'm just going to leave this page. And then please do click on, when you come to active members list right here, membership members list, please do click on inactive member list. See if that person, they might be in here. Sometimes we have data saved from years ago. First of all, check to see if they're in your inactive member list. If not, there's a tool in the RI integration section. If that person has been reactivated at myrotary.org, that information is sitting in myrotary.org, you can pull it down into your club website. That's the whole point of our integration, is for you not to keep typing things. So you can go, and I can't show you, I'm sorry, I can't show you that today. Our testing site doesn't have it set up, but it's actually more, we're not allowed to set it up. You can't touch any live member info. But anyways, so option one, go to your inactive member list, see if that, let's pretend just for a second, option one works, and your user is John Applegate as an example, or whoever. What you can do is, let's say John is that person you're talking about. I came to my inactive member list. I can just click on change status, and I can activate that X member's membership. Once again, our integration, he gets reactivated at RI as well. So let me do that again. Let me go back. Okay. I went to my inactive member list. I searched for the person I was looking for. Let's say it's Bill. Bill is rejoining us. And look, I got lucky and I managed to find Bill's inactive member profile. I'm going to click this blue button, change status. I'm going to activate Bill's membership, and I can change him from inactive back to active. It'll do the same at Rotary International. Now, let's take option two, because this is assuming that this person is in the inactive member list. So I'm going to click go back again. I'm not going to do anything. Now let's say I struck out. Oh, maybe go back one more time. I searched my inactive member list. Nope, that person's not there. He's not, or she's not in the inactive member list. Then you will go to our integration and compare and synchronize. And I can't show you. And I really, so you can pull and push. You can push and pull information between ClubRunner and Rotary International. Because I can't show you today, I would apologize about that. Please, probably email would be the best or the quickest. Please send us an email, because if you give us the name of the member, everything's confidential, right? You give us the name of the member, we'll help you look. We'll help you to reactivate that. We can't touch anything, but we'll give you instructions on how to reactivate inactive members, especially if the information is already there.
Okay,
Does that make
thank you.
sense?
As long as I can pull down the status because he wants to continue the status. Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate.
You're
Because
welcome.
actually, can I add one other theoretical option? Because we've done it successfully before, and that is you can use the transfer new member function and just look him up with the Rotary ID if the member knows their Rotary ID.
Fantastic. Yeah, that is something. Thank you very much, Alexander. Because if sorry, I did that really quickly. Membership, member list, to go to the active member list. The reason transfer new member can be potentially very useful. Let's say the person is joining, but their info isn't quite let's say they're not in myrotary.org in the new club, in your club. They're not in an active member list, but they're still listed. So if you click on transfer new member, once again, sorry, I can't show you because we're not allowed to look at real people. you can grab that person and pull him or her into your club. So that's an excellent point, which I missed. So thank you, Alexander. That's just as helpful. All right. And by the way, I'm happy to stay and answer as many questions. Any other questions at all? I don't mind answering anything I can.
Yeah, we're definitely over time on the promised time, but anybody who needs to leave, please don't feel sorry. The rest will still be recorded, and anybody who wants to stay, please stay, and we're ready for the next question. And I see John has raised his hand. Go ahead, John.
Right. So when you transfer the member, does their data come from the other club to your data?
Yes.
Base?
Yes. The member transfer function, the way that it works, because like I said, it's a database, right? We're just pushing and pulling info. Is there's one important thing about transferring a member. You probably already know this. Let's say someone's transferring. They're a Rotarian. They've been a Rotarian for 10 years, 20 years, whatever. And they're coming from a different club. They must be terminated first from their old club. It won't work if they're still like, let's say they moved, and this happens, by the way, is a real world scenario. They moved last month to the new city, and now they're in your new city, John, and they want to join John's club. And they're like, okay, let me in. And you try this transfer, and it says they're not terminated at their old club. So they must be terminated at their old club in order for all this stuff to work. But yeah, if they're terminated, fantastic. You grab the new members' info from their old club, you bring it into ClubRunner. It's pretty quick. I really wish I could show you, but like I said, I can't show real data.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm used to that. If it says past member, do I still need to get the other club to terminate them?
Yes. In that case, let's say the person moved, that happens sometimes. They moved to a new city, but they're still a member in their old city. Either you or the member, usually the quickest way we found, email the club, the old club, the former club secretary, and say to him or her, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Club Secretary, this person's still active. Can you terminate, new member? And when the secretary or whoever it is from the old club terminates that person, give it 24 hours, not for anything else, just for our databases to catch up. That's all it is. That's all the 24. Most of the time you terminate someone, it's instant. Every once in a while, a human being has to look at a termination. So give it 24 hours just to be on the safe side. Go ahead.
So first step is to identify the person, and then when it says past member, I still have to go the next step, which is to contact either that person themselves or the secretary of the old club and get them to terminate.
Yes, that's 100% correct. Most of the time, we hope that, Rotarian XYZ leaves, they get terminated. That's in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world. So sometimes people just forget. So yeah, you have to contact. If you can't contact them, if they're part of a district that you have no idea, if you have any walls or roadblocks or whatever, contact us, because we'll try and figure out some way. Maybe we can reach them on your behalf. So yeah, yes, please.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions at all? Might be.
I don't see any raised hands at the moment.
Okay.
So that might mean we are at the end here.
All right, I'll pause stopping my screen for now. Stop my screen share for now. All right, fantastic.
Well, in this case, let me thank you once again for a really great presentation. And Andy, thank you for putting this together and organizing it for our district. I think this was really valuable and information packed, very dense information. So I'm glad we recorded it.